Good day. I'm Brian Arbermio and I am one of the reporter for today. And the topic that assigned to me is Chinese literature. So, before we proceed to the Chinese literature, let's have first the objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students are expected to identify and understand the significance of Chinese literature, analyze the value of emotional depth in a wife mourns for her husband, apply the lesson of loyalty, respect, and devotion in real life situation. So, Chinese literature. Chinese literature Chinese literature is one of the most major literacy with uninterrupted history and more than 3 or 30,000 years, dating back at least to the 4th century. So Chinese literature is a vast and diverse reflection of China's history, culture, and philosophy, spanning 300 years and encompasses poetry, novels, drama, and essays. There are 4 classes of Chinese literature: classic literature, modern literature, contemporary literature, and the present age literature. So, let's have first the classic literature from 1644 to 1911. Refers to the earliest period and covers work from 300 years or 3 3,000 years ago to the late Qing dynasty and is virtually unbroken stands enduring the dynasty changes. So, the Chinese classical literature spanned from ancient times to the Qing dynasty. It's 3000 BCE to 1912 CE, forming an unbroken thread to poetry, philosophical and narrative work that endure to dynasty changes. Written in ancient form of language that is very different from present-day Chinese. It needs to be carefully studied to be understood. So, Chinese classical literature is a is a written in English Chinese, a language vastly different from modern Chinese, inquiring dedicated study to decipher and appreciate its nuances. Next is the modern literature. Refers to the period from the Opium War in 1840 to the May 4th movement in 1919. So, the modern literature emerged during the period of turmoil spanning from the First Opium War between China and Britain and Britain in 1839 to 1842. So, to the May 4th movement, marking a shift from traditional modern Chinese literature. Opium War. This is the war between two wars in the mid-19th century involving Anglo-Chinese dispute over the British. So, a Western influence permeated China through the colonial modernism. Chinese literature emerged, characterized a patriotic and socially conscious themes reflecting the nation's struggles and performed through novels, poetry, and works. People observe the impact of Western through as a foreign pure Chinese established their colonies, novels, poetry, and other works began to appear with the theme of patriotism and revelation of social literature. Like what I've said, no, they reflecting the nation's struggles and reform through novels, poetry, and other works. And next, contemporary literature spanned period from 1919 to the foundation of modern in 1949 and focused on a new vigor despite the fact that Chinese wars and the checkered and complicated times. So, contemporary Chinese literature thrived despite turmoil, embracing new vitality amidst war and social upheaval. From the May 4th movement to the founding of the People's Republic of the China. Present age 1949 till now, the present. Involved since the establishing of People's Republic in 1949 during this time. So, next. There was a logjam as the consequence of the cultural revolution that lasted for near 10 years. That era is now long past and you now have a favorable turn events and a great number of responsible written works. So the following decades-long creative stagnation to the colonial cultural revolution from 1966 to 1976, Chinese literature has flourished since the 1980s, yielding a surge of high-quality, responsible written work that reflect that nation's transformation. And that's all. Thank you.